straight up. The next game, the Dallas Cowboys over the Buffalo Bills. You know, it's one of those weird games where Buffalo, again, and I've said this before and I'll keep mentioning it, they are, to me, the University of Iowa, University of Wisconsin NFL team, where if you look at the records, you know, Wisconsin's 9-2. Iowa is 8-3, or 8-3. Just like Buffalo is. You know, hard-nosed, great defense, consistent defense. You want to try to run the ball down your throat, and the quarterback does enough to manage throughout the games to get victories, and they rely on that. And you just see from the Bills, they beat a lot of bad teams, or what I like to call tomato cans. They've kicked a lot of tomato cans down the road this year to get to this point. Job well done to them. You only can play who you can play on your schedule. And again, Josh Allen, kind of still shaky as a passer. Again, phenomenal athlete. Has continued to consistently run the ball pretty well. He had another 56 yards on the ground yesterday. And it's one of those weird things where with Dallas, they are 6-5, and they are now They are 6. They have not beaten a team with an above 500 record this year. So in the 5 losses they had, they are 1-4 in teams that were 500 or better. That Jets loss is still looming, but they lost to Green Bay, who's a playoff team. They lost to Minnesota, who's a playoff team. They lost to New England, who's a playoff team. And they lost to New Orleans, who is a playoff team. So 4 of their 5 losses have been against teams that are above 500 or better. There's only 4 other teams that can make that kind of claim to that kind of mediocrity. And Dak yesterday, he threw for 212 yards. They couldn't get a touchdown. Brett Maher missing another 47-yard field goal. You actually could hear the thud when it hit the upright and didn't go through. And it was just a really poor game by the Cowboys. And it just, again, this is one of those weird things where Buffalo, by the metric, by the consistency, by how they play defense, they should be able to, hold, the Cowboys offense okay. But I've seen the Bills this year in their losses against Cleveland, 3-point loss where Hauschka missed a 50-yard field goal. When you look at the way they played against New England, a 16-10 game where it was a blocked punt touchdown, but they couldn't really do anything against a, great defense. I guess maybe that one you could throw out. But then against Philadelphia, they just got the ball ran down their throat, and that was kind of the difference in the game. And I just look at the Cowboys offense and go, look, they got shut down and kind of embarrassed with all the circumstances that went on in New England. This is the game that the Cowboys have every single year, usually, right when everybody's mostly eating dinner, and they're playing a Buffalo team that up to this point, against competent offenses and competent teams, or competent offensive-based teams, which I do believe the Cowboys are with Dak Prescott. They were the number 1 leading offense entering the game. And Dak Prescott was leading the league in passing yards, second in yards per attempt. Ezekiel Elliott was, doing a pretty consistent job, and he had a pretty good game yesterday. I was surprised they didn't run him at the end. But I just feel like, again, this is one of those things where, again, Buffalo, every time you want to believe in them against one of these better teams, especially with what position they're in, they can eat this loss technically and be okay. But I just don't have the confidence in that. I saw what they did against Cleveland. I saw what they did against New England. I saw what they did against Philadelphia. Dallas is around that range of offensive-based team, and I feel like with Buffalo, they're going to have just another tough time because I feel like the Cowboys can move the ball on the Bills' defense, especially running the ball, and I think that'll be the difference in this game. I'm going to take Buffalo here +7 because I do think, again, Buffalo has a defense that, can travel, they can run, and Josh Allen, if he doesn't make mistakes, they can keep this game close. But I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I trust the offense. I trust that they're going to be motivated on national TV on Thanksgiving. Buffalo does not play this team very often, and I feel like, again, it's just kind of also, you just look at history, the Cowboys and Bills routinely, for the most part, the Cowboys have routinely been able to beat the Bills a majority of the time throughout their history. So that's why I like Dallas here to win straight up, but I will take Buffalo +7.